What is up, everyone? Got Mousanz here. It's been a long time since I last made a video. Feels almost like a year ago. The reason was that I was spending all this time inside the mall. I was making some serious shopping moves. So, without further ado, let me show you what I got. I got this beautiful package of band-aids. Just kidding. That's not what I got. I got this awesome cookie bag. Look at this. Look at this beauty. Oh yeah, and I also got a new camera. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I was deciding which camera I wanted to get, but eventually I did, and I got the Canon M50. Should we unbox this? Let's go. Oh my god, this is so hard. Alright, so we got the camera lens. Seems pretty small. And this looks like an X-wing. Let's take out the lens. Comes with a nice little package. Smells good. Pretty small. 1545 millimeters. That's interesting. Comes with the battery. Small battery. Whenever opening something new, I never want to break anything, but it's gonna end up broken anyways. This is a nice little battery here. Not too heavy. And finally we get to the camera. So small. Oh shit. So small. No, this one does smell good. Oh. Wow. What a beauty. What a beauty. Don't worry, T3i. Not gonna replace you, just giving you a little brother. It's got an interesting grip. It's pretty small. Wow, I like the design. Very minimalist. It has a flippable screen. Just keep creating, guys. Just keep creating. Everything else is pretty much the same as in any other Canon. Very minimalist design, just like I like it. The wheel. Then this is, I guess, for the shutter and stuff. Feels very smooth. Feels so small, man. Almost feels like a toy. Even though it's pretty light, and I keep saying that it feels like a toy. There's a fine line between a toy camera or a toy device and an actually good quality build. This feels like in the thin line, like the line is here and the camera is just above it. A little bit less weight and it would be below it. A little bit more it would be too heavy, so no point. But it's really good. What are we waiting for? Let's test it out. Hey Google, should we test out the camera?
Sorry, I don't understand.
The first thing we want to do, of course, is put on the battery. Let's see if this battery goes. If my intuition works, not that way. Goes this way. I guess didn't click, but what's the worst that could happen? Let's turn this to this side and see if the camera turns on. Ooh, it did. Okay, so the first thing is asking us to do is to set the time. I don't know if you guys can see. No card in camera, okay. Oh wow, it does have nice autofocus. Oh whoa, this is touch screen. Wow. Technology has gotten very far. You cannot tell obviously from this camera, but the LCD screen is really sharp. I'm just playing around with this thing. Okay, so there is a bit of a learning curve. I always wanted to say that in a video. Give me just one little moment to get used to it. I'll be back, guys. Don't miss me. Alright, so I've used this tiny little camera for about 2 weeks now. And I've used it for pictures, I've used it for video, and it works perfectly fine. I mean, I honestly cannot think of any major issues that I have with this camera. Of course, there's some limitations that are very well known, like the fact that the crop factor is pretty big, or the lens itself doesn't have any stabilization. But honestly, that's not too big of a deal for me. I can work around those flaws, those issues. To be perfectly honest, I don't know why people expect this camera to have all those pro features for the price that it comes at. I mean, this thing only cost me $650. It's nothing for a camera that shoots 4K, that has autofocus the way this one does, like a really good autofocus, a camera that has slow motion. Of course, it's 720p, but honestly, you cannot really tell that much. Like a regular person is not gonna notice that difference, or if they do, it's not gonna be a big deal like it is for us filmmakers. For pictures, this camera is pretty good. I don't think it's gonna be my main camera for pictures, mostly because I would need an adapter for this to shoot with my EFM lenses, which I love. I might get an adapter because this is pretty handy. For the moment, I think I'm gonna stick with my DSLR for photos, but for video, this is definitely gonna be my main camera for video. It's so light, so easy to transport. I'm I've been taking it everywhere for the past 2 weeks. Like it has not left my bag. Well, of course, just to shoot. I love it. I love it for video. I've shot 4K video. I've shot slow motion. I've shot regular video. I've shot some blocks already with this. Video wise, I have no issues with this. The internal stabilization is a little bit weird, but I don't mind because I'm gonna get a gimbal anyways. Yeah, that's my review so far. 2 weeks after purchasing this beautiful little baby, the Canon M50. If you're trying to decide between vlogging cameras, I honestly would recommend this one. And this is not sponsored by Canon, by the way. Although I wish it was sponsored by Canon. But this is the thing that convinced me to get this camera. There's a lot of features that are better in the Sony cameras, and even though they might be a little bit more expensive, I know the price tag is still worth because they're so good. But why the hell don't they have a flip screen? Like, come on, like that's common sense. Like, especially if you're blogging, like, why wouldn't you have a flip screen? I know a lot of people don't like this design for the mirrorless cameras. I honestly like it. I still think my film cameras look way better. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. Beauty, 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 beauty. Almost everything in this camera can be touchscreen. That took me a little while to get used to. The first time I used this camera in the field, I took it to a photography meetup, and I was struggling so hard with it. It took me about an hour or two to get used to it, like fooling. But actually got some shots that I enjoyed a lot, and there were some really good stuff. Two things that I haven't heard a lot of people say in regards to this camera. This camera, of course, shoots RAW, but the RAW files that you get from this camera are different than the regular Canon RAW files. Usually Canon RAW files are CR2, I believe that's the file extension, but this is CR3, I believe. So this is like a next generation RAW file, which is pretty cool. But if you're not editing in Lightroom, like I am not, then you're gonna have a hard time editing these pictures. I found a way around it. I found a converter that turns them into a weird file. I'm not sure what's the extension. Basically makes them raw of some sort. I know that's more of an issue with the software itself for not recognizing the extension, but it's just something that I wish someone had told me beforehand so I could keep it in mind. Then the other thing that I would like to tell you about this camera is SD cards. Of course, you can use a regular SD card for this camera and it's gonna work fine. But, and this is a big but, if you're gonna use this camera for burst mode or 4K video, I would really suggest that you get high speed SD card. An SD card that has fast writing speed. This one that I have here is the SanDisk Extreme Pro, 64 gigabytes. It writes at 95 megabytes per second, I think. It's class 10, of course. You need a class 10 if you want to shoot video. And if you want to shoot 4K, you need the class 10 to be U3. I don't know if you guys can tell in here. Probably not. This is too small. But that's the number in here that you have to make sure that you got. And I actually found a really good deal on Best Buy. I got two of these for less than 60 bucks. So like 25, $27 each. It was a really good deal. So I recommend getting this type of SD card if you want to shoot 4K, if you want to exploit this camera to its maximum potential. Yeah, that's about it, guys. This is definitely gonna turn into my main vlogging camera. Sorry, the 3i. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little video as much as I did. I've been having fun with this camera a lot. I'm definitely happy with my investment. I'm sure it's gonna bring me a lot of joy and a lot of cool content. And if you decide on getting this camera, I hope it does for you too. Hit me up in the comments below if you have any questions, if you have any experiences related to this camera or to other cameras that you want to share. If you want to check my work as a photographer, you know the drill. Check out my Instagram at Mousanz Photo. If you want to check also my work as a videographer, check out my other new Instagram, Mousanz Video. And for my main Instagram, Mousanz. Just plain and simple. Yeah, check out my website, check out my Twitter, check out my new haircut. It sucks, I know. Yeah, till the next one.